Hey everybody, it's Peter from Brantford Kia. Happy Friday. So here we go. This is kind of an interesting comparison today. We are looking at the Kia Niro PHEV. It's a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, and we're comparing it to the top-of-the-line Kia Seltos, the SX Turbo. Now, I've done a lot of Seltos recently, but basically by popular demand, we decided to do these two vehicles today. So first of all, if you're just joining us and you're not with us live, you can skip ahead to the 3-minute mark. Around 3 minutes, we'll actually get going with the video. We're gonna let our audience build over the next couple minutes. If you wanna know how to join us live, we go live every weekday, except for the next week or so. But every weekday we go live, and you just go to YouTube. You're probably already on it right now. Search for Brantford Kia. And if you go to our homepage and you refresh the page, you'll be able to tell if I'm running behind or not. If you refresh the page and you see a live video right here, you will know that I'm running on time. Today I was running late, so you're gonna have to click the videos tab right here. When you click that, you will see the live now video right there. And there we go, we are in our live video. All right, so I'll tell you about why I was running late in a second here. If anybody wants to drop a comment there, I have no viewers at all right now. That's a little odd. Usually I have a few on by now. So we'll let the audience build for a second and then we can get a comment. There we go. So the reason I blew that up is because I will take your comments over here. We normally have a bunch of people with us. Right now, I don't know if something's going wrong, but we have very few people. So we'll just wait for a few minutes here, about a minute and a half to go before we get some audience, and then we'll go from there. All right, if you're watching not live with us and you want to know what we're doing every day, you can follow me on Instagram. No pressure if you don't, not really a big deal, but if you want to know what we're doing, just go to Instagram, follow at Peter_Brantford_Kia, and there we go. All right, we got some audience coming in here, so this is good. But you can follow me on Instagram, and we will talk about what's coming up. So you'll usually see a picture posted of what we're doing that day, and I always tell you in the story at the beginning of the day what we're doing. So we'll be doing live videos, we'll be doing more edited videos like we used to be doing. We're gonna get back to those in a little while. So lots of that coming up. We got one more minute before we start the video. Some of you were asking yesterday for a Kia Seltos SX versus the Kia Seltos EX Premium, which the EX Premium we did yesterday. If you want to search through that and see that video, you can see that. The reason I didn't do that video is because the cars are so similar. Other than engine, transmission, heads-up display, and what else is there? There's very minor differences between the two cars. So it's a little difficult to do a video between the two of them for a half an hour because you end up with almost the same things. Heads-up display, Bose audio, engine and transmission. And of course, engine and transmission we don't tend to show in these videos, so that's why we didn't do that comparison. But I am doing a comparison of these two. So 10 seconds here, we'll get going, and we'll see how this goes. All right, 5 seconds. We're at the 3-minute mark right about now. All right, welcome everyone. Do I have the Teddy and the keys? You know what? I don't know where one of the keys are, but I think they're in the car. Teddy, well, you'll just have to wait and see. All right, those of you just joining us live, our regular audience knows I'm about to go on vacation. So like I say, every day at 2 o'clock Eastern time, we do these little comparison live videos, or sometimes they're not comparisons, but we go live. For the next week, I'm not gonna be here. So we'll take a vote at the end of the video if you think I should share some vacation photos while I'm away on my Instagram account. If you want me to do that, go ahead. If at any point in this video I can earn your like, you guys know how YouTube works. If I can get likes, that helps. And if I can earn your subscription, that would be great as well. So the reason we're doing these two cars today is kind of an interesting thing for me. First of all, I'm a big fan of both these cars, but for very different reasons. So if you just gave me that car, I would tell you it's a great car. If you just gave me that one, I would say it's a great car. And in my mind, they don't really compete, but I think in my family, either one would suit me just fine, depending on what my priorities are. So I, again, have a family of 4. My family would easily fit in both of these cars. They both have good trunk space. They both have good efficiency. They're both kind of suitable for me. They're both small crossovers and kind of what I think works for my family. So we're going to talk about this car here, which is a very rare car. This is the Kia Niro plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. This is a 2020 model, so this is a updated model over the 2019. The one in the background is a 2021 Kia Seltos. Don't let that fool you. They are basically both current model years. We're filming this just the last day of July in 2020, and these are both current model year vehicles. They're just titled a little bit differently, and that's fine. So we're gonna take a look at them, and the reason I wanna compare them, let's just take a look over here on my computer screen. I will show you what we're kind of looking at. Uh-oh. Yes, I'm sharing pictures of your vacation. All right, so we got one vote for that. Okay, over here, this is the Kia Seltos. We're looking at the SX Turbo, and let me scroll down a little bit. You can see it is $32,595 MSRP. let's go over to the other vehicle. We're looking at the EX Premium. So we're gonna lose some features in here, and we're looking at $35,995. So not a huge difference. Again, $32,595, $35,995, but the EX Premium, the Niro here, Niro PHEV, currently has $2,500 from the government. So that takes the price a little bit lower. And now you're in a very similar price range. And actually, cost of ownership is going to be probably a little less on the PHEV because your fuel efficiency is truly unbelievable. So let's just take a quick look at that. I don't know if you saw, but let's go around. City and combined, oops, come on, City Highway 5.1 combined, come on. 5.1, 2.2 is what it says there. Now, actually, we should show you the window sticker because that's even more impressive. But basically, this gasoline electric vehicle mixes gas and electric powertrains and comes up with a great fuel efficiency. The Seltos still does very well. 9.4, 7.9 is what it's rated for. You can see there's two different ratings there, left and right. Those are the two engines in this vehicle. So we're comparing the one with a little bit worse fuel efficiency, a little bit more power, and you know, that's just the vehicle we pulled in with a little bit extra features for you. So the reason I like this car is as you know, as many of my regulars know, I am an electric car fan, and this particular car kind of mixes the both of, well, in many cases, the best of both worlds. So you can fill it up with gas and drive across the country. You don't have to ever plug it in. If you plug it in, you're gonna get around 40 to 45 kilometers of pure electric range. And that means the gasoline engine doesn't have to run. That works up to highway speeds as well. And overall, this is a better hybrid than just the Niro hybrid would be. But what you gain in this car is the ability to go fully electric, go home, plug back in, not run the gas engine at all. And if you want to drive across the country, you have no range anxiety because you have that. Now, pros and cons compared to an EV. An EV, of course, you'll never run a gasoline engine, even in the winter. This car is going to run its gasoline engine a little bit more in the winter, just to keep the engine warmed up, to give you some extra cabin heat, that kind of thing. But you will have to run some gasoline engine. So the benefit of an EV over this one is on an EV, you lose the gasoline engine maintenance stuff. So no more oil changes. Where on this car, you keep all the same maintenance as a regular car, but you gain the benefit of fuel efficiency and zero emissions driving. Over in the back here, the Seltos, very traditional car. Gasoline engine. This one has a dual clutch transmission. It happens to be a turbo engine, so it's got pretty good pep. Both these cars have very good torque down low. An electric car by nature has excellent torque. This car is less torquey than our electric cars, but both these cars are sort of fun to drive in that kind of way. When I say winter, what's the temperature threshold where the engine kicks in? Well, that's a good question. We'll talk about that in 1 second. Let me finish with the Seltos introduction. So this vehicle, again, you do gain all-wheel drive on this vehicle. You don't get that on any of the Niros. So again, if winter traction is an item for you, that might be something worth considering. But really, they're very similar cars other than looks and other things. You have roof racks on both. You have small crossover space, good trunk space, and so they're just kind of in the same class. If you don't need all-wheel drive, you can sacrifice all-wheel drive, get crazy efficiency. If you want a little bit more tech, you can get it on this car, but if you want it for the same price, you can get it in that car. This one does cost more with that gasoline battery engine mix. So some of the same features on both cars. So real quick, somebody asked me, what's the winter threshold? Well, first of all, if the engine needs to start at any temperature, the gasoline engine sort of takes care of itself. So it occasionally will just run just to make sure it's all good, temperatures are all good, it's ready to go. In the winter, if you're using the heat, you're going to use more gasoline engine than if you're not using the heat. Now, of course, we need to use heat. Has heated seats, has heated steering wheel, but you do, it does create its heat from the gasoline engine. So it will still turn on and off, on and off. You can get some extra heat in there while you're, with your driving, but there's a lot of ways to get heat, but basically there is no temperature threshold. It depends on the whole systems of the car. You can put it in full EV mode. In the middle of the winter, it's going to override your choice to go full EV if it decides it needs the engine to work. And that's an okay thing. You want to move that gas through the system a little bit. Our marketing director drove this, Kia Canada's head of marketing, drove one of these last year, and he was averaging, I think it was 2.1 liters per 100 kilometers. You can see those numbers there. It's very, very good efficiency. I've driven this car at 2.2, 2.1 liters per 100 kilometers for a little bit, so very good efficiency here. And of course, you're not getting that in a traditional gas car. So even in the gasoline engine runs, people get kind of caught up in, does that gasoline engine run a lot? The reality is, even when it runs, it's incredibly efficient, far more efficient than just a gasoline engine. So let me just see if I missed a question there. I'm going to throw my questions back up on the screen. I'm on the wrong page here. All right. With a front-wheel drive and traction control, how does the Niro PHEV fare in winter conditions? So I've never driven this exact car in full winter conditions, but I have driven electric vehicles in winter conditions, and I'll tell you some of the differences. First of all, on the pure electric vehicles, the tires are eco tires. They're great for efficiency. They're not my favorite tires for the winter. You can drive with them in the winter, but they're not my favorite. So I recommend winter tires with them. What I noticed with the electric vehicles in the winter is because you have instantaneous control of traction, cutting power, there's no momentum really. What you end up with is, to me, a better traction control system. Now this car, of course, blends the gasoline and the electric, so it's a little bit different. Both cars are going to be fine in the winter. I recommend winter tires on everybody who runs in the winter. That's just my personal preference. Of course, it's your choice what you do. But both cars are going to be good in the winter. The Niro has a decent ground clearance. It's not as high as the Seltos, but it's pretty good, and that keeps you up out of the snow. It is front-wheel drive-based platform. It's not going to plow through snow the same way an all-wheel drive platform would. But that being said, most of us deal with plowed roads 99% of the time. And even when you're not, you can get through. I mean, you'd have to go a long ways up in snow to get stuck in these cars. So both are good. Definitely the Seltos is going to be a little bit better, but winter tires on both and you're probably going to have no issues whatsoever. You lose some efficiency, but that's okay. Losing efficiency on a car that's this efficient, not the end of the world. If winter's an average of 60 degrees Fahrenheit and not needed, no, that's not the case. So basically, this car will still run its engine today. It is 30 degrees Celsius today, which I don't know what that translates to Fahrenheit, but it's well over 80 degrees Fahrenheit. And this car will still need to run its gasoline engine every now and then. You can put it in EV mode, and in this kind of weather, you can drive it fully in EV mode, even with the air conditioning on, and it will stay in EV mode. So there we go. Just bought a Seltos last weekend. Oh, congratulations. So let's take a look at inside these vehicles. The reason I wanted to show you them is really, like I said, although they don't compete directly, they're in a similar price bracket, and both cars would work very well for my family of four. And I probably would go home with either car, but I probably wouldn't directly compare them to each other, and that's kind of an interesting thing. Little things to get on this. Again, this is the EX model, so this is the base level PHEV. That is the top of the line Seltos. So you're going to see some differences in features here. What we have here is the little cargo cover. This is the blind style cover. On every other Niro, the Niro, what do you call it? The Niro Hybrid and the Niro EV, you can put that underneath the floor right here. On this one, you can't. A couple reasons. One, there's a battery pack just in front of there, and there's, let's say, actually a 12-volt battery, a car battery, in the back over here. So you'll lose a tiny bit of space at trunk space there, but still a very good size trunk for a small crossover, and you know, class competitive, if not bigger than many of our competitors. If you start looking at something like a Hyundai Kona, you're going to lose a lot more trunk space than in something like a Niro. Now over here, Seltos is class leading trunk space in the small crossover segment. And you can see my friend Teddy Bear. Somebody was asking about Teddy Bear earlier. Teddy Bear is what I use to compare trunk space, because if I just fill this screen with a trunk, it's very hard to compare. So there's Teddy Bear in there. I always put his tummy against the back seat. And you can see he's got a lot of room here and a pretty good height. That floor is in the lower position. It can be raised up, but Teddy Bear's there. Hey, there's a Teddy Bear emoticon. I never knew that. Okay, I guess I should have known that. So we're gonna throw Teddy in here now. You'll see the charger is in this car, so I'm just gonna jiggle that around a little bit to get it out of the way of Teddy. You will see a little bit less tummy space for Teddy in here with the floor and the position that it is, because it does not lower, and a little bit less floor space. So there we go. Teddy's tummy is touching up against and actually sticking out past the little cover there, but you can see all kinds of space here. A little bit less than the Seltos, but still plenty of space for Teddy Bear. What you can do over here, if I just take these floor mats out, you can raise the seats. I was showing you the maximum trunk space in the Seltos. If you take this panel out, pull it out like this, lift it up like that, and slide it in there, I've now raised the trunk floor. The reason you might want to do that is a couple reasons. It's now pretty much level with the edge here, and if you folded the seats down, the floor would be level with those there, and you would be able to slide everything in there. You do lose a little bit of space with this top cover, and Teddy would be probably similar to the, yeah, so there we go. Cargo space, Seltos 1, Niro 0. Niro is spelled N-I-R-O, just so we all know. If you're ever searching for it online, N-I-R-O. So yeah, winner of the cargo space is Seltos. Winner of fuel efficiency, definitely Niro. Pricing, kind of a initial price, you're going to be better off on that car, but overall cost of ownership, you're going to be better off on this car. So kind of an interesting mix. Let's take a look at the dash in this one. We're going to shut the trunk here, just because I will jump in. I want to go full disclosure. The battery was pretty low on this Seltos here. So if I run into that issue, don't blame the car, blame the people. All right. Here we go. Jumping in the dash here. This is, again, a redesigned interior for 2020. All of our Niros were redesigned. It's kind of a subtle thing. They didn't really mention it in the media very much. I'm going to start the car by turning it full on. So normally what I do is I just go to the on position. This car, because it is in EV mode there, you can see, it does run, let me turn the climate system off. I can turn it on, and I'm not going to fume out the people in the offices on the other side of the wall there. What's interesting about this is you have this big 7-inch display screen. That's a color display screen. You have the same display screen in the upper level Seltos, but to me, this is one of the best dashes we have for information. In this car, on the hybrid or the PHEV, you gain the tachometer over there, which is on the right side there. You have your gear indicator on the left. If I dropped it in sport mode, the engine will start, so just let me do that. But watch the left side of the dash where it just went from neutral to drive there. Go and drive, everything switches over. Kind of a cool use of, let me just turn it off for a second so I don't fume out the people in the offices. We're gonna turn it back to the, actually we'll turn it back on again, it'll be fine. So left side, you do have charge information, which is typical for a hybrid. You do have the battery charge, which is the battery that you can use to drive on pure electric power. It's kind of like a fuel gauge, that's right there, and your fuel gauge echoes it on this side here. One of the best dashes we have, and like I said, when you put it in that sport mode, you can see the way they make use of the tachometer, the way they change that display. I think it makes great sense. It's super simple to use, and yeah, ignore the fuel efficiency of 5.2. We can do better than that. What's interesting there is the range right now. So we got less than half a tank, 305 kilometers plus 34 kilometers of electric range. And again, I think we could probably beat that given the range that, or the mileage you were seeing on there. But just a lot of good information there, super clear and easy to read. On this trim level, we have an 8-inch screen over here. You'll see some glare. I see no glare, literally no glare at all in person. Sometimes filming with one eye instead of having two eyes, you see some extra glare and the camera adds some. This is a really good 8-inch screen. You can get the 10.25-inch screen in this car. Let me just see if I can just change it around. I don't know if that's any better. But you can get the 10.25-inch screen in this car, but you have to move up a trim level. You do have Android Auto, you have Apple CarPlay, you have satellite radio, AM, FM, of course. So very good equipment here in a very clear, easy to read screen. And when I throw the car in reverse, you see crystal clear backup camera. You can see every line on the floor. Just a great system there. So that works really well. Scrolling down here, same thing as the regular Niro. You have a driver-only mode for the climate, which can save you some electricity. Or you can go auto. It is a dual zone climate control. Scrolling down further, it looks like it had the space for 10-inch. Yes, absolutely. So like I said, the higher trim level of here will have the 10.25-inch screen in here. This one just has the 8-inch screen because it's the lower trim level. Down there, there's a USB port extra on the side. There's one in the middle for Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and you have your wireless charge pad right there. Right here is kind of a cool button, EV, HEV, if you want it to drive in EV. So let's say I plug it in at home and I get 45, let's call it 40-ish kilometers of range, of EV range, electric vehicle range. And I want to drive downtown Toronto, but in the city, when I drive downtown Toronto, I want to have that electric range. I can hit that button right now. It'll turn the gasoline engine on. It'll run in hybrid mode. So again, better fuel efficiency than a regular car. All the way to downtown Toronto. I hit the EV button. I've preserved that range and I can use it downtown Toronto. So kind of a cool system where I can use the EV range wherever I want to use it, you know, when all conditions are met. Down here, rump roasters. Gonna turn those off immediately because it's hot today. But heated seats and heated steering wheel, very cool function. Electronic parking brake there. So kind of a cool system. I really quite like this car. This one has smart cruise control. So again, even on the lower trim level, you get that cruise control that works really well and keeps its distance from cars in front. And again, probably one of the best use of this dash that we have anywhere in the building or anywhere in the lineup right now. Over here, you do have automatic headlights. This one happens to have the halogen headlights and LED marker lights or LED daytime running lights. You can get LEDs if you move up higher trim. Let's turn the car off for a second. We're gonna go take a look at Oh, and those of you that really want power folding mirrors, this one has that. The whole mirror housing can fold in, give you a little bit more space. The Niro still does that. It's one of our few cars that still carry that through for 2020. Seltos, you're going to get a lot of the same, a little bit of different. Let me show you what I mean. Again, this is a turbo model. Bear with me if the battery goes dead. I did not charge very long. Same type of screen in the middle, same type of display areas. You can do a lot in here, but let me just kill the climate system. Same idea, you just have a little different style graphics. You have gauges on either side, which is fine. If I throw it in drive and put it in sport mode, you'll see the same thing happen on the left side. A little bit of a change. Oops, it doesn't change there. Oh, you know what? I didn't do the drive mode. Let's do the drive mode. Sport Smart. There you go. Left side, drive mode, changes to a little bit there. But I kind of prefer the way the PHEV does it. But again, same type of thing. Color screen in the middle. You do get a 10.25 inch screen on this particular Seltos, and I quite like the functionality of this one. This one has dual driver modes, so you can switch between two different drivers, and you can customize this whole display for two different people. Here you have single zone automatic climate control. So instead of dual zone, it is single zone, different than the PHEV. You have a wireless charge pad here. I believe you had one over there. Yes, we did. Yeah, we had a wireless charge pad as well down here. But this one, it's up higher, and down there you have just a space to put your stuff. Same thing down here, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay compatible in the center. Drive modes on this one come through that knob there. So again, a very similar feel from the steering wheel area. You still have the smart cruise control over here, the automatic headlights. This one has lane follow assist, and not just lane keep assist, just a little more advanced thing. They both have a system where at stoplights, they can turn the vehicle off. So when you run out of electric range on the Niro PHEV, the engine goes on and off still with the regular hybrid. This one here, you can turn the, you can hit this button, or sorry, when you hit a stoplight, if conditions are met, again, the engine's got enough temperature in it, it will automatically turn itself off at stoplights and instantly turn on. That's not just a hybrid thing anymore. You get that. So again, similar driving in both. This one happens to have a heads-up display. But again, I think these vehicles are a lot closer than you think. They both have great rear seat room. We're going to take a look at that in a second. So one thing I just want to jump into, there's 28 of you on right now. If at any point I've earned your like in this video, 26 of you, if at any point I've earned your like in this video, do me a favor, hit that like button. My bosses like to see it. You guys know how YouTube works. Again, if I can earn your subscription, that'd be great. I'm going to take some questions now. If I've missed any, I'll jump on them. If you asked a question that I didn't answer, go ahead and jump in, and we'll take it through here. All right, the smarter these cars get, the more you feel like an airline pilot. Oh yeah, you do feel like you're in control of all kinds of tech, so it's just kind of fun. And the thing I like about Kias is the technology's not super confusing. They do lots of things, but if you don't know how to use the technology, you just keep driving and off you go. Just want to say that thanks to your videos, I picked up a Forte GT line today. Oh, cool. So hopefully they'll send me the check for referral, right? I hope. There we go. All right. Looks like I had the space for 10. Yeah, okay. So let me just see. If there's any questions I didn't get to, four-corner cargo net with the Niro is great, keeps stuff grounded. Yeah, that's so the Seltos has that. So, so let's go over the pros and cons. We had a Seltos 1, Niro 0. We'll go over some of those again. She got 36 miles per gallon driving the Seltos SX Turbo. We went 200 miles last Sunday. So yeah, so the Seltos Turbo, I mean, every Seltos, I can exceed the fuel mileage ratings on that car. That being said, it's not going to be as good as here. Is Kia have good resale value like Toyota or Honda? Okay, I love this question. Everybody assumes that Kias have terrible resale values. Well, this car right here is a direct competitor to the Honda HR-V. The residual value, which is the lease value after the term, is as much as 9 percentage points higher on a Kia Seltos than a Honda HR-V. So to answer your question, is the residual value higher in a Kia? Yeah, on this car especially. It's 9 points higher than the Honda, the direct competitor. So that's something to keep in mind. This car also will hold its value very well. The PHEVs are in-demand cars. They are very difficult to get. We have a couple in stock. We have more on the way. If you want one, connect with us. We'll make sure we connect you with one as well. So people always assume, let's talk about this Honda Toyota type thing. Quality, people talk Honda Toyota. I used to work at a Honda dealer, and the salespeople used to say, oh, and it's got legendary Honda reliability, which was saying, hey, in the 1990s, Honda had great reliability and just trust us now. The reality is all of those Hondas and Toyotas built their reputation of reliability by winning all kinds of awards in things like JD Power Studies and Consumer Reports. So the Niro, the first year out, the regular hybrid Niro, was Consumer Reports' most reliable car that first year. The brand as a whole, Initial Quality, is for 6 years in a row, we're the top mainstream brand in initial quality. And we're the reigning top brand there right now. So all the awards that Honda and Toyota used to win to get their quality reputation, Kia's winning right now. And there's awards around the world, some in other languages and other countries that we don't even know. And Kia continues to be at the top of the pile with reliability and those kind of things. So, you know, that whole Honda Toyota thing is always fun to talk about now because, hey, let's look at the stats. Let's look at what actually built those reputations. That's what we're winning now. We're higher than them in many, many, many categories. So that's kind of a fun conversation. All right, we are already at 25 minutes. Usually we stick around 30 minutes. Let me just see it here. All right, let me just go down the end. Currently trying to decide between the Seltos and the regular Niro Hybrid. Love these videos. Okay, so Seltos and regular Niro Hybrid. Let's just talk about that. First of all, size-wise, same thing. Front-wheel drive versus all-wheel drive, although the Seltos is available in front-wheel drive. Hybrid's gonna save you more fuel, it just is. Both cars are gonna drive really nice. You're gonna sit a little taller, a little more square. We're gonna look at the back seats of both these cars in a second. A little more taller, a little more square in the Seltos. The Seltos, you get HID lights a little earlier, and if you're gonna go, or sorry, not HID, LED lights. So if you're gonna get into those LED lights, Seltos are great. The Niro has as well, but they're a little higher. Which is better to lease versus buy? It really depends on what you wanna do. I sort of stay out of that because it's an individual thing, leasing and buying. The Niro, the regular Niro, is actually our only car without a 12-volt battery. This one has it because it's a plug-in hybrid, and therefore you get good trunk space and other things, but it's just kind of an interesting thing. You have just interesting fact. It is a little different the way it works. I'm a big fan of hybrids. They're among the most reliable vehicles out there as a class of vehicle. But yeah, both are very good. I find that Niro owners are almost never disappointed with their purchase. They're very, very, very happy with it. The only reason that some people move from the Niro to something like maybe the Seltos is they really like that all-wheel drive thing. Both are good, and the 2020 update is excellent with these cars. They've got better interiors on the Niros, a little bit better look out front with the headlights too. They just got a little extra marker differentiators there. If you keep your car more than 3 to 4 years, yeah, again, it depends. I'm a fan of buying. I know people are a fan of leasing. It just depends on the mileage you put on. That's more of an individual conversation that we could have, or someone could have with you. It's just hard for me to get into on these videos because sometimes I'll say yes, buy for sure, and somebody will make a very good point of why leasing is better, and other times I'll say lease for sure, and somebody will make a very good point of why buying is better. So on these overall videos, it's a little harder to do. It's more of an individual thing. All right, we're gonna show you rear seat passenger space now before we finish up this video. And I think that really matters because, again, this small crossover segment, so let's just keep in mind where we're at. The Seltos is smaller than the Kia Sportage. I view the Niro as a smaller car as well. And yeah, again, so we have owners here that are on right now saying they're not disappointed at all with the Niros. And let's talk rear seat space. So again, I'm 6 feet tall. Both these seats are set to accommodate me, and the front seats are anyways. So let's take a look at what we've got here. Rear seat headroom. I'm 6 feet tall. I got tons of it in the Niro. It's just, there's a lot of space back here. There are cars in this class where I don't fit. My head's on the ceiling, and you can see that's nowhere near the case here. We look at my legs. They're pretty much on the seat. Let me just see if I can tilt down. Pretty much on the seat the entire way. Quite comfortable. You'll see a slight difference in the Seltos, but while we're here, check out that knee space there. Tons and tons and tons of it. I'm quite comfortable. Lots of foot room. I can stretch my legs out. Lots of space. The back seat on this car is fixed, so it's at a comfortable angle. I'm quite comfortable in here. You've got soft touch door panels here. This particular one does not have heated rear seats. The Seltos will, but very comfortable back here. And again, for that small crossover segment, it's an excellent space. I'm not going to let you look at me as we're walking away because that's just creepy and weird. Nobody wants to stare at me. You're not watching for me. You're watching for the cars. I totally understand that. All right, let's jump into the Seltos here. We'll do the same thing. Rear seat, driver seat set to where I want it. Hopped in. It is a little taller in the Seltos. Taller seat height, and I think that's quite comfortable. It's not too tall for kids or anything. There we go. Headroom, similar. Actually, might be a tiny, tiny bit less. But again, tons and tons of room. Like I said, in this class of car, I don't always fit. Coming down here, here's the real difference in the Seltos. The floor of the seat is higher, which means I'm really pressed against the seat the whole way up. I've got better comfort at the end here. Now, the Niro is excellent. Don't get me wrong. It's probably among the best in its class. The Seltos is probably very top of the class for having a tall seat where I sit with my whole legs on there. And again, tons and tons of legroom. I think maybe even a little bit more here, the way I have the seat set up for my comfort. Sometimes legroom measurements are kind of weird. Because of the height of cars, I end up putting the seat a little forward sometimes because my legs are more square in the front, and that means the seat can sit more forward. So the measurement, when one car has a measurement of more legroom than another, it's always good to sit in the car, because sometimes I'll have a car with maybe an inch more headroom or legroom, but the way you have the seat is different. And again, lots of foot space there. I can move my feet around. And on this particular car, let me just show you here. I'm going to tilt the seat back a little bit, so I can recline a little bit extra here. Again, plenty of headroom. This is more leaned back than I would probably be on a normal drive, but if I want to take a little nap or something like that, it's maybe a little bit more comfortable. So probably Seltos gets the back seat. If I was to grade them, Seltos is an A, and Niro would be A- in the back seat. Both are excellent cars. Seltos wins. All right. Somebody says their sport tires have been issue-free for 3.5 years. Yeah, quality is all here. Trunk dimensions in the inches. From the second row to the hatch, latch. I'm trying to figure out if a stroller can fit. I haven't got a what do you call it? I haven't got a tape measure here. What can I use to measure for you? Well, I don't know. I have a Mac laptop that I can use, but point is, I probably wouldn't be that accurate. You'd probably have to just jump in and measure. I can tell you that you're going to have more room in the Seltos from there to here than you do in the Niro that I'm showing you right now. Niro's still very big for its class, though, so just keep that in mind. All right, 30 minutes. We are past 31 minutes. If you've watched this long, if you're not in our area, we just decided to maybe ask for this every now and then. Oh, there we go. Pat's here with the tape measure. Can you do me a favor, Pat? We'll go under the floor mat just from the center to the latch. All right, Pat's here. He's going to measure for us, so we've got it. What are we at?
31, a little over 31 inches.
A little over 31 inches on that car, so we'll measure it over here. This one's going to be longer. If you haven't given us a like yet, do me a favor, hit a like for the owner of our dealership. There's Pat Hart. He's rarely on video, but he may take over when I go die in the woods this week. All right. 31 and a bit compared to the Seltos, which is?
A little over 33.
A little over 33, so a couple inches bigger on the Seltos there. And so we'll say goodbye to Pat. Thanks, Pat. And one thing I wanted to ask you guys, if you aren't local, we just decided to maybe ask for this. If you want to head over to Google, and if you like what we're doing, only if you like what we're doing, if we're worth a 5-star Google review, head over to Google, search for Brantford Kia, and if you want to give us a Google review for the videos that we're doing, that would be great. That's one way to thank us if you're not local to us. If you're local to us, we expect to earn your business. That's what we're doing these videos for. So that's what we're hoping for. And yeah. All right. If there's anything anybody else has question-wise, I'm at, what am I at? 32 minutes here. I'll take your questions. Yeah, hit like, everyone, she says. Okay, we're at 26 viewers, and I've only got 17 likes, so that seems odd, but that's okay. We're going to get viewers afterwards. All right, what else we got? That's all we got for questions? All right. Just so you guys know, I am away. I am gone for next week, so no more live videos for a week. I'm going to be gone. If you want to follow me, we're kind of deciding maybe I'll post a few pictures of my vacation on my Instagram account, so then I won't disappear for you. I will not be answering car questions. Can I deliver to New Brunswick? Sure, why not? Let's, why don't you call our sales team? Connect with our sales team, 519-304-6542. We can work out across the country on a car. So if that works for you and you think it makes sense for us, then let's talk. But anyways, yeah, I am gone. If you want to follow me on Instagram, maybe I'll post a picture or two. I will not answer car questions. I'll just talk about the fun I'm having. And we can follow around that way, and you guys can keep up with me. And I don't think I'll post a lot. I don't know how much cell signal I'll have. I'm going to be camping. I'll be long gone. We will be back probably Monday the 10th, but definitely I'm scheduled to be back Tuesday the 11th. So that's my official day back. We'll throw a live video up that day. I don't know what we'll do at that point because I'll figure that out when I'm on vacation. But I want to thank everyone for joining us through this whole COVID time. Basically, we started doing these live videos when COVID started. This room was completely unfinished, and we just used it because we had solid internet in here. And when we get back, we're going to start reevaluating everything we do. And I think there's going to be some fun stuff coming up, some exciting stuff to talk about. We'll do some different things on video. We'll do some different things overall. So I want to thank everyone for joining us, especially all the regulars that kind of walked through COVID times with us. And like I said, when I get back mid-August, we're going to be working towards some different things and doing some fun stuff. So thanks everyone for watching. Let me just quickly make sure I don't miss any questions. Does the Seltos offer folding mirrors? Manual folding, yes. Power folding, no. The Niro has power folding mirrors in. We showed them earlier. They power fold in. Those ones will not power fold in. They will just fold in manually. So if you need to create space, you can pull them in, but not the power folding mirrors like the Niro. All right. We got all the questions. I don't want to miss anybody because I'm going to be gone for a while. Gotcha. Good job. There we go. All right. Thanks, everybody, for the likes. Thanks. If I've earned your subscription, that'd be great. Don't leave us over the next week. Hopefully, I'll survive being out in the woods. And when I do survive, I'll come back and tell you all about it. Or probably not. I'll just tell you all about the cars because that's why you're tuning in. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Have a wonderful week away from me. I'll do my best away from you, and we'll see you in about a week and a half. Thanks, everybody.